Wait.
What?
No.
Oh, no.
Not you too. Oh, no. Not again. No.
New season, hey? Yeah,
Once again.
Yeah, good times. Alrighty.
Hello, brats, babes and gays. Welcome back to a brand new season of The Struggle.
Just a couple of childless cat ladies who are miserable in our own lives and the choices we've made, so we're here to make yours miserable too, while bringing you high quality journalism.
Allegedly.
For our hardcore fans, you may have noticed that this is our first episode since April, and that means that we did miss some hard-hitting news in our hiatus.
Megan Thee Stallion released a new album, the Met Gala flopped once again, the famous Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef started and ended, Nicki Minaj was in jail for like 10 minutes, Emmy nominations were announced, and we weren't nominated for Outstanding Limited Series or Television Movie despite our best campaigning efforts. Katy Perry released the worst song we've ever heard, meaning the AFL could book her for a discounted rate for the grand final. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, Trixie Mattel's commenced a 3-month sabbatical from drag. Robert Downey Jr. was revealed to be playing Doctor Doom in the new Avengers movie, much to everyone's dismay. And former President Grab Him by the Pussy was convicted on 34 felony charges, announced not disproven catch-fucker JD Vance as his running mate, got shot in an assassination attempt, which we cared about for half a second before Joe Biden dropped out of the running for re-election and endorsed Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, retroactively making HBO satire comedy series Veep a harrowing documentary cultural retrospective.
I also got dumped if anyone cares about women's issues.
We don't. We only like to promote successful women on this show, which is why we are so context and coconut pilled about the Kamala kerfuffle over in the US.
Indeed. Kamala Harris is so Julia, pulling all the attention away from rejected Neen Leakes wig-wearing Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse benefact former president and now perpetual felon Donald Trump. Harris and her team of social media interns have been targeting Gen Z audiences using banger songs like Beyonce's Freedom and Chappell Roan's Femininomenon, and jumping on this year's hottest trend and social movement, Brat Summer, with Brat monarch Charlie XCX even anointing Vice President Harris as Brat.
This has left boomer-saturated newsrooms deeply confused. Not because a presidential nominee has finally realised that people born after the death of Elvis can vote, but because apparently no one over the age of 29 can explain what it means to be a brat without sounding like they're saying a slur.
Say this, I am supposed to say, that's brat. And for those who are not in the know the way I am, that is a cool thing. It has a color, chartreuse.
Now, we would never commit the crime of being cringe on television, so we outsourced that job to our cultural correspondent, Tamsin.
She's hit up our local Brat Night to ask the true cultural auteurs, annoying Fitzroy gay people, what it truly means to be brat.
While brat is a lifestyle to some, it's baffling to others. We're here at Yaya's on Brat Night to clear up some confusion. What does brat mean to each of you?
Brat is, start again.
Brat is like messy, but messy in like a beautiful, elegant way.
Album of the year, a lifestyle.
Brat is an embodiment of all things C-U-N-T.
It's kind of gay. Yeah.
Brat means to me somebody that loves to party but is a little bit awkward.
Club classics. Yeah, I want to dance to Tamsin. Oh.
It is like, it's like the Renaissance. It really is. It's bringing life back into what being a real bad bleep really is.
Excuse me, ma'am. What is brat? I'm busy. Is Kamala Harris, is she brat?
Kamala Harris is fucking brat.
She labelled herself as a brat, so she's aware that she has that brat in her.
Yes.
She is the brat.
Yes.
I think she's more femininomenon.
I agree with that.
Look, she's a better presidential candidate than Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Getting your ear shot, not very brat. I hate to say, but Trump is giving more brat because he's a brat. Donald Trump not being president would probably be brat. That's brat.
That's
Yeah,
brat.
And I hope she wins because, God, we need a woman. We need a black woman running America because it's gone to the third world.
I would agree.
We need Kamala.
Because there's that ironic aspect as well that she is this middle-aged woman, but she can be still brat because she's for the people.
Thank you so much. Well, I guess that's brat.
You know, I really want to be like them when I grow up.
I think I already am. Let's watch what's next.
The Games, a worldwide event where the hottest, most athletic individuals worldwide join together to compete for a tiny piece of metal to hang around their necks. The Olympic gymnastics events have been the big winner in becoming beloved worldwide competition, with US gymnasts becoming increasingly fan favorites. In particular, the Clark Kent of the Paris Games, Stefan Nedrosche, devoured the pommel horse in the men's teams event, helping bring the US men's gymnastics team to their first Olympic medal placement in more than 16 years. This was only his second biggest achievement of the day. While waiting to compete, he solved a Rubik's Cube in under 10 seconds. Canadian coach Bev Prisman should have spied on him instead of the New Zealand soccer team with drones. Being hot is also hot right now. Exhibit A, the Italian swimming team. They won the bronze, but more importantly, they won our hearts. Their strong jawlines, gorgeous hair, and bodies so toned that several Olympic swimming pools were created on couches and in jeans worldwide. So that's what's trending over at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Makes me want to catch a flight and see how well those cardboard beds actually work. Au revoir.
Moving on from real Olympians to a shady knockoff, the International Olympic Committee has announced a World Esports Tournament will be held in Saudi Arabia next year.
We caught up with one of the future competitors, XX Cormat69. With a work ethic harder than the tissues behind his bed, he's an Olympian. But the only finger action he's ever gotten is with a mouse and keyboard.
A self-proclaimed Fortnite pro and body pillow curator, he joins us in the studio amidst claims of discrimination because he isn't getting the anti-sex cardboard beds.
Mr. Fapps, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your job as a pro gamer?
Well, I'm a pure member of the PC Master Race and a full-time Discord mod.
You're pure.
Virgin. Not by my own choice, though. If I ever meet up with my Discord kitten, things will be different.
Have you ever met this cat?
Kitten, not cat. And it's only so much longer. She tells me she's from Saudi Arabia and a model. So that's why I'm so excited for this tournament.
So you want to join in a tournament to go and see a woman that you've never met?
I've never met her, but I know she's real. She even has a Nigerian prince as an uncle. That's so multicultural. I've been sending her money every month and messaging her every day.
Do you ever worry that she's a real?
No, because, well, look, if it really comes down to it, I can rizz up a gap with my gamer skills. So, you guys come here often?
Molly, push the panic button.
Quick, let's hit the ads.
Gambling is an epidemic impacting thousands of Australians every day, and numbers are set to increase now the Olympics are officially partway through. And Australian gamblers are getting younger and younger. But did you know the risks of gambling when pregnant? The risks of gambling while pregnant may include your baby being better than the previous generation or having the tendency to become a gambling influencer. Will it put you in the red? Or can you stay in the black? Will it grow up to be a card? Will it get into a spin over its bottle? Don't gamble while pregnant. Beat the odds. For embryo's sake. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Welcome back.
We're joined at the desk now by the most frightening woman in community television, geopolitical commentator and part-time crash test dummy, Leo Proboto.
Good evening, Struggle.
What do you have in store for us this week, you little fella?
So this week I've been gripped with a paralysing fear, Molly. The kind of fear that can only come from the influence of foreign powers in domestic government.
Huh?
For as long as my caveman brain can remember, it's been the position of the Australian government that there's no greater geopolitical threat to my milquetoast white bread lifestyle than the benevolent Chinese Communist Party. But as domestic industries like supermarkets and aviation face increasing pressure to break up monopolies, Australian consumers may soon have a new second choice of boogeyman in the Asia Pacific. I'm referring, of course, to our sneaky subcontinental neighbours, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP. My own personal fascination with the BJP started last year when Canadian Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Najir was shot dead in his plumbing truck in what Canadian authorities alleged to be an assassination attempt by the Modi government. Pesky Indian spies have been popping up in the crosshairs of our domestic intelligence agencies since 2020, with Intelligence Chief Mike Burgess describing the following year how a nest of spies sought access to sensitive defence information, former and current politicians, and generally stalked the Australian Indian diaspora through links with an unnamed state police force. Gross. This is the kind of covert jiggery-pokery that once upon a time would have sent our nation's droopy-eyed press pack into a fervour of fearfulness. That is, it would have done had these stories not been broken by the nerds at the national broadcaster. In fact, our private media sector displayed equal apathy when ABC journalist Avani Diaz was expelled by the Indian government for her reporting on the plight of the Sikh separatist movement. The fact is, while being kicked out of a hostile foreign state for journalism might not quite compare to something like, the CCP's years-long detention of Sky News stalwart Cheng Lei, I contend that the media negligence in this country is robbing the general populace of a level of fear that can only come from that most arctic of diplomatic tensions, a bipolar Cold War. So to you, Mr. Modi, I encourage you, don't be shy. Send those shooters after me. Imagine what it could mean for our ratings.
Well, I am shocked.
Let's go to something even more shocking.
Do you see me down here? Do you remember this iconic moment of Australian history? Well, Barnaby Joyce, I'm here to address you and urge you to get back on the beers. What's with all these dark metaphors surrounding putting bullets into a magazine against our little baby elbow? And why are you saying goodbye to them? What does this mean? Is it a threat? After this Trump assassination, Barnaby, this feels a little tasteless. Funny, but tasteless. But you know what's also tasteless, but makes you a lot more fun? Beer! Bring back Slutty Affair Barnaby. He was so much fun. Bring back the Barnaby that was all flirty in Parliament. He was so exciting. Look, Barnaby, this sobriety era looks good for the Nationals after the whole messy drunk scandal. But come on, we all have one of those occasionally. Come back to the dark side, Barney. The Nationals can't love you like me and a Bundaberg rum can.
Well, that was fun.
Let's move on to something else.
Genghis Khan, Stalin, Scott Morrison. Over history, many of these dictators have risen and fallen. Most recently, Scott Morrison was slandered for holding 5 ministries. Now, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has risen to the challenge and rearranged his own cabinet. It leaves a question. Is he a man trying to govern, or a man trying to outsco the Mo?
Prime Minister, what's your reaction to people thinking that this is just a ploy to absorb as much power as possible?
Scott Morrison called me to congratulate myself.
Mr. Conroy, why has your ministry been elevated to the cabinet?
Oh, just the power.
Did you mean to say that?
So I threw away the script this morning. We've had the issue of chafing.
Is that a metaphor for friction within the party?
We don't deal with hypotheticals.
Right. Mr. Watt, as the new Employment and Workplace Minister, do you agree?
Of course.
People believe that your appointment is the sign of a doomed election to come. How does the Labor Party plan to stay in power?
Coordination across the different police and emergency services, state departments, rural fire services, SES. Circumstances have changed.
Now, call me crazy, Minister, but all you new ministers sort of look like Albanese. Why?
To promote fairness in the workplace.
Are you worried that your child can't get a grip on a full-size machete? That they'll trip over and stab their eye out with a homemade shank? How will they ever be able to threaten minorities? Well, thanks to My First Hate Crime, your kid can wield illegal sharp objects with ease. All the essentials your little one needs to start their journey into building a long police record, including orange-handled safety scissors for the low price of $3.99. But wait, that's not all. With your first purchase of any My First Hate Crime product, you will receive a free shiesty. You can rest assured that while they're out prowling Frankston Station and vandalising public bathrooms, they are equipped with the best kid-friendly murder weapons on the market.
Welcome back. Now for some economic news. Come together, finance bros and skanks. Yes, birth rates are the lowest since 2006, so please come together. Here's this week's Stalk Report.
Yeah, so I said to him, "You're not a proper journalist until you've been found with 3 bullets in the back of your head and the cops rule it as a suicide."
We're on air.
Over the last few weeks, stalks have been down. We have found that the stock prices of babies have fallen, with fertility rate in Melbourne dropping by 4.6%. In 2023, the birth rates in Australia has dropped by around 13,000 babies, which is almost the same as the average maintenance cost to Aussie parents each year. According to a recent study, the average spending on ankle biters by an Australian household is $12,823 a year. And with the way things are going, it seems high risk with no return. With the current cost of living, it makes sense that young people aren't ripping off their jimmies and having a good old-fashioned raw dog like they used to. I mean, let's be honest. Babies are fragile. The slightest shake makes them stop working. They cry and poo, and worst thing is that they're built with a soft self-destruct button at the top of their little tender noggins. I mean, with flaws like these, manufacturers just don't see a return on investment. So, why invest in kids when you can invest in other, much healthier, more beneficial commodities? Here are a couple of investments that I have in my portfolio. For the same price as a kid, you could get 7,554 delicious, yummy cigarettes, increasing focus and cardiovascular health. Or you could get 1,778.5 monthly subscriptions to my mum's OnlyFans account. God knows she needs the support. Condoms are a great counter investment to babies, and you could get 38,022 shares in them. Or, if they crash and burn, you could also move into 17.32 surgical abortions. Finally, if you're feeling a little bit risky, you can invest into the hype of a stock which has continued to rise, a weekly shop at Coles. And that's today's Stalk Report.
Thank you for that invigorating report. We'd now like to take a moment of your time to come together and remember all that we've lost during our off-air break.
We've had to say goodbye to a few of our beloved big brands, and at the same time, any hope of any competition within any Aussie industry.
We are gathered here today to honour airlines and cordial companies. A TikTok legend, internet beef that the girlies never thought would end, and a festival that dipped out, leaving us pookies empty-handed for summer festies. Bonza and Rex, 2 very good boys, have lost their fight with the big dogs in the airline industry. Both going to the big hangar in the sky has left Australians wondering where they will get their $99 domestic flights from. Bonza went into administration on the 29th of April, and Rex, like a lover with a broken heart, went 2 months later on the 31st of July. These airlines will be truly missed, especially by regional Australians who relied on airlines like Rex to take them interstate to access healthcare. The following day, our favourite fruit tingle mixed drink creator Bilson's carked it. Us alcoholics are starting to get withdrawals just thinking about its disappearance on the BWS shelves. Custom Wood Burning's TikTok account was banned, leaving followers and haters left with nothing to do. Whose live will we hop on now to see artwork that looks to be crafted by a 12-year-old while followers rile her up about art, hot chest hair and mailing her pictures of feet? Now she's banned? I'm pissed! Spilt Milk has said, "I'ma head out," as they decided not to go through with the festival this year. Where will loose party goers trip to sick beats now? I'm more heartbroken by the fact that I've lost my guaranteed $500 I was going to make selling drugs that weekend. And the feud the world never expected to get resolved during Brats summer. Charlie XCX released Girl So Confusing on her Brat album, where she gave Lorde a hot mention. Fans believed Lorde would hit back, worsening the behind-the-scenes feud, but instead it has ended with the pair finally collaborating with Girl So Confusing version with Lorde. This feature has shook fans to the core, as the idea of these two baddies coming together was once a fever dream. May you all rest in peace. Now, a moment of silence to remember our fallen.
Ashes to ashes, aviation to trucks.
Real smooth.
Just play the trucking segment.
Blue Trunks was found to be transporting contaminated cooking oil in China, and it is the world's worst kept secrets that these chemical crying trucks are not exactly squeaky clean. Australia import a range of cooking oils for a suspicious company involved in this scandal. Some say it was soybean oil cut with canola, others say carcinogenics. In 2022, Australia imported over $550,000 worth of this soybean oil from China. For people who actively drink this stuff, there are some serious health concerns. We saw this back in 2008 when China underwent a massive lactose intolerance epidemic, with 300,000 children being affected and 6 killed by toxic milk from St. Luke brain. Will time to take place 60 years after the original GFC global formula crisis. Some wonder if this just a few survivors of the 2000 disaster feeling nostalgic for risking deaths with every speed. Back to you in the studio, Muli and Rora.
From oil to something equally slimy, content creators.
Once again, it's been confirmed that to be an online influencer is to be incredibly creepy, with popular streamer Dr. Disrespect and Mr. Beast team member Ava Tyson facing allegations that they were inappropriately messaging minors.
Here with us today for a groundbreaking whistleblower interview is one such alleged victim. Their identity has been hidden as they are a minor. Can you describe the conditions you've been living under?
Well, you know, they had me starting on 12-hour days at 4 a.m. I could never really get any rest, always sore, and I couldn't even walk straight after each session.
I am so sorry that you had to experience that.
How did this all begin?
Oh, well, they got me when I was a teenager. I mean, I couldn't say no. They offered to fly me out, relocate me, and the money was more than I ever dreamed of. And, you know, it's not all that bad, though. Me and the others.
The others?
Yeah, me and the other boys. At least we get to go on holiday sometimes to, you know, that one island?
My God, you went to the island?
Yeah. It was all right, though. Not my favourite trip, but I mean, what can I do? I asked for it.
What can people do to support you?
Oh, you could buy us a 6-pack. God knows FIFO workers like me don't make enough.
What? Are you sure you're a minor?
Yeah, 20 years deep in the red fucking scene.
Welp, more evidence of the lack of quality control in modern journalism.
Oh, minor, not minor.
Oh my God, the credits are starting. That was us, that was our name.
Oh, shout out at the top.
Yeah.
What's new?
Not like we read everything for the whole show.
No, it's not sort of the face of the organisation.
No, none of that, none of that. That guy's in it again this season. Good on him.
Yeah, keeping it.
Yeah.
It sort of just keeps on going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Quite a few people on it this season. Hey.
Let anyone in, don't they?
Lack of audition process, it feels like. Yeah.
Evidently.
Yeah, that's all right. Well,
he ate a lot of pizza at the writers' meeting.
Sure did.
They always do.
There you go.
The struggle.
It's real.